Hi everyone, back again with me aMagicJo, and today in this video I want to talk about Hasna. So this video might be a little bit of a unit review because I've seen so many videos out there on YouTube channel. People are talking about Hasna, but they might be a little bit confused about the use of Hasna. So I just want to give out my opinions. That doesn't mean that my opinions is 100% correct, but this is my point of view of this unit because I've been really waiting to pull her and I got it on my first multi-pulls on global server. So without any further ado, let's talk about it. First thing first, let's learn about the Hasna's traits. Hasna has a trait called lingering fragrance, and it makes her immune to blind, which is she might have like 100% accuracy on her attack because mostly what she can do is the single target attack. And her aim attack also has some increasement by certain percentage from 3 to 15%, depending on the star level that you have on her. And in addition to that, she will also inflict fragrance to all enemies within 3 to up to 5 tiles around her at the end of their turns. So it's not about the Hasna's turns, it's not after the Hasna's turns, but after the enemy's turns, which going to last up to 2 turns on level 5. And enemies with fragrance within 3 to 5 tiles around her will have their attack and defense reduced by 8% and up to 15% if you max level her. If you max star her. And also within 3 to 5 tiles around her, and also with increase the chance of being critical hit increased by 15%. So that 15% is flat on all star level. That's why that's the good thing about her. And if you can see here, I bold some of the text. That means it has some change regarding to when you level up the star level on her. As you can see here, on star level 3, you will have some increasement on the tiles, so that makes it the aura a bit wider, and also you can increase the reducement that you have on the enemies. So instead of reducing 8% of attack and defense, she will reduce 12% on the star level 3. And I think if you want to have her, I would suggest just level up her star level until like star level 3 if you don't want to utilize her a lot, because I think pretty much all the legendary on the star level 3, they will have their own function. So yeah, just get her at star level 3, and after that you can just focus on the characters you want to level up. And from star level 4, there are a little bit increasement just for the aim attack, but not so much on the other stuff. But if you max star level her, you will get the maximum aim attack increase, which is 15%, and also she will have like 1 extra tiles for the aura or like fragrance, and also the fragrance will last 2 turns instead of 1 turns. And you could also get some increasement from 12 to 15 from star level 4 to star level 5. So if you want to focus on her, I would suggest to level up her star level until 5. But if you just want her as a support for your team, I think star level 3 is enough. And faction wise, she's a drifter and also alacrity. That means she will have the synergy well with the Cole, because Cole has an aura, a leader aura that will increase the critical chance and also critical damage for all the alacrity factions. And for the drifter, if you want to pair her with Miguel, which is going to have like the drifter aura that will give like more bonus attack and defense, you could also pair her with Miguel. And now let's have a look on Hasna's best stats. As you can see here, I have a graphic or a table for level 1 and level 6A. And the most prominent thing that you can see here is her aMattack, that's for sure. Because she's a mage, she uses magical attack instead of physical attacks, even though she has the the basic attack that will also give some physical attack on that, but it's gonna be counted based on her magical attack status. So as you can see here, her aMattack could reach 1469, and that is for a Seeker role. If you compare her with another, maybe like Destroyer units, Destroyer will have the highest stats across of all the roles. But Hasna, being a Seeker, she has like her aMattack is really big. It's also ranked 6 across of the 87 units in totals that we have, including in Taiwan or Chinese server. So that's why I thought that maybe Hasna has like some potential on damage dealing, because if you build her as like critical and critical damage build, I think she will do a good amount of damage, even though all the attack will be like single target focus. But I think Hasna will just do great. And if you see on the other stats, the HP is only ranked 20, not so much, and also the magic defense is quite good, which is ranked 8 at the moment. And the speed, she has like 151, because being a Seeker, usually the turn base is gonna be like Defender, Breaker, and then Seeker, so that's kind of normal, but it's quite low for Seekers. The most thing that I want to highlight here as well is the movement speed, or like the movement tile, or the movement power, whatever you want to call it. Because I was thinking, because Hasna has a Seeker role, so I was expecting that she will have 5 movements, because most of the Seeker will have like 5 movements on their movement, but not Hasna, so that is so devastating. If only she has like 5 movement, she's gonna be like really great and really good unit to use. I'm just gonna tell you the reason behind that later. And yeah, and for the jump, she only has the jump power of 2, so it's pretty much normal compared to the other units on the Sword of Convallaria. And now let's have a look on the abilities that she has on her kits. So for the basic ability, she comes with Dark Withering, which is a magical damage that will inflict life loss, which is a debuff. It only requires 1 energy, which is very cheap, but it has 5 cooldowns, like 5 turns cooldowns. So that's what makes this ability is not commonly used across all her abilities maybe, but it still have like some unique kind of function on her, because this Dark Withering combined with the Sententtress is also going to inflict the fragrance on it, because every attack of her, if you equip this passive, it will trigger the fragrance. So it's for the Dark Withering. And the great thing about this is, if you apply these things, that means you could apply 5 debuffs in 1 turn for all enemy at the range. Looking at the range, it has like 1 to 3 range, which is a really good AoE attack. And also like height range, it has like 8, down and also up. The effect height is 2, which is pretty normal, and it will also has the healing reducement, which is going to decrease the healing taken by 50%. So if you're looking for like the buffing team, I think this ability will help you a lot, because if you equip the Dark Withering and also the Sententtress together, you could just inflict 5 debuffs at once. So that's the great thing about the Dark Withering with Hasna. And I'm just going to talk about the life loss, So life loss, it will inflict the damage, like a flat amount of damage equal to her aMattack power. So it will not be reduced by any magic defense or even the roll advantage. So it's like a flat damage kind of thing. And the damage that you get here is per turns. So if it doesn't get dispelled, or yeah, like not gonna be like dispelled from the enemies, so you will deal in total like 100% of her aMattack. That's why if you compare her with the trait that she has, it will also increase the aMattack. So that's why it will deal a decent amount of damage if you use the Dark Withering. And now let's see about the skills that you can get from the talent tree. At the first rank on the left side, you will have Hypnosis. So it's a magical damage single target attack that deals 35% damage and also inflicts sleep, which is a bound debuff for 2 turns. So for the range, it's pretty good because it has like 1 to 3 range, up to 3 range, and also height range by 8. It has 2 costs of energy and also 4 turns cooldown. The great thing about Hypnosis and Hasna is because Hasna could exchange her range for all the single target skills. That means you will have like, if you could trigger the passive, you will have like 4 range of sleep. And if you equip her with the focus one, it will have like 5 range of sleep. And that is so devastating scary because like Hasna could just like walk up to the enemy's team and then just like sleep the healer or like sleep anyone that is really a threat for your team, and that's it. That unit is gonna just like sleep for 2 turns. And also if you equip her passive, this passive, it will like makes maybe like 40 buffs at a time. And you know, like even Coco passive or like the traits couldn't dispel the sleep because it needs to dispel the other things before it could dispel the sleep. And on the right side we have Battle Fever, and after an active attack the characters will take 15% less damage, and if you're dealing a critical damage it will additionally decrease damage taken by 25%. So if you do a critical damage, it will reduce 15 plus 25 damage reduction. 25% damage reduction. So maybe roughly it's gonna be like 35 or maybe like 40%. Yeah, 35 to 40%. I don't know about the damage calculation, how they calculate this Battle Fever, but it's a lot of damage reductions. So if you want to use the Battle Fever, I would suggest you to use the Murderous Phantom basic attack because it will guarantee you to have critical hit if you hit the enemies with fragrance. So I think that's the combo for the Battle Fever. Or if you have like a higher percentage critical hit on Hasna, it will be also useful because like, and at the rank 3 she will have access to Aroma Assault, which is a magical damage also single target attack, which going to deal 150% damage and also inflict the hidden fragrance on the all enemies within 2 tiles of the target and lasting for 2 turns. So I think this skill is pretty unique because it's a single target attack, but it will blast the aura around the target. So if you want to use this skill for like keeping up all the stacks of the aura consistently every turns, you could use this skill if you want. It only has 2 energies and it has no cooldown at all. And looking at the damage application, it's quite high. Like 150% is, I think, like that the medium range of the rank of the damage multiplication in this game, and it's not too bad. And also it will like consistently just inflict the hidden fragrance on your like enemy units. And on the right side, we will have the passive skill, which is a Sententtress. After attacking, inflicts the fragrance on the target for 2 turns, and when attacking enemies with fragrance, the characters or Hasna will recover 2 energies, and when defeating enemy units with fragrance, additionally recovers 40% HP of the characters. So this passive is a really good passive for sustains, and also keep like consistently just like apply the fragrance to the enemy units that you targeted. So I think this is like a must passive that you're gonna have on Hasna, because if you use this, pretty much you could spam all the skills that she has, because as you can see, like even the penetrating here has 4 energies with no cooldown. You could pretty much just spam this skill as well. And the Lifedeor, it's going to make your Hasna like pretty much healthy every turn, because it has like 100%, like 150% damage multiplier, and also gain the life steals. So pretty much this passive here is like one of the ultimate passive that you want to equip on her as well. And at round 5, we have Soft as Flowers. This is a reaction ability. When hit by an active attack from an enemy with fragrance, the damage taken is decreased by 30%. So if you notice, like from the rank 1 to rank 5, it's always have the words fragrance on it. So pretty much what you want to do with Hasna is to try to apply the fragrance to all your enemy units, and that's like when Hasna just shine the brightest on the battle. So as long as your enemy unit has the fragrance, I think pretty much Hasna can do anything that you want to do. And on the right side, we have Rage. So Rage is the reaction ability as well. When hit by an active attack, damage taken is decreased by 8%, and also after being attacked, the characters will gain a passive of the increased damage for 3 turns. So for this one, I'm not sure which one is the best, like the better ability to have as her reaction ability, but I personally will take the Soft as Flower. The first thing is because it's a unique reaction ability which only Hasna can have. Also, the damage taken decrease is really good, because for Hasna you want to apply the fragrance consistently in every turns, so you could buff up the critical hit for your allied unit, and also you want to decrease the attack and defense to from your enemy units. So pretty much as long as Hasna is always on the battle, like she lives in the battle, I think Hasna will give some great contributions. And also if you combine this passive with this passive as well, Hasna will have like a lot of damage reduction on her. So if you ask me my recommendation, I would choose Soft as Flower instead of this Rage. But it's up to you. If you want to build her as the damage dealer unit, you probably want to take the Rage. And at round 7, we will have Assault, which is like a support instant ability, which going to help her to gain critical hit up, which is going to increase the 15% of the critical hit chance, critical damage chance by the critical damage by 50% as well, and also movement 2 for 1 turn. So pretty much what you want to utilize this skill is you just want to, let's say if you want to target someone or like kill someone from afar, you could use this assault ability, because it will give you like increased movement by 2 tiles. And trust me guys, movement 2 is a really big thing in this game, like because like I've been playing PvP matches for like so long, and the most important thing on this game is, the first one is the speed, and the second one is movement. So movement is always gonna give you a big advantage in a battle. So that's why like movement to here for instant ability is really great if you want to assassinate people, or if you want to combo it with the passive of the Scent of Tracker and also the Hypnosis. So you could pretty much reach your enemy, like the furthest enemy units, which is like maybe healers or any archers like Lily will. So you could pretty much use this and combo it with the Hypnosis, so you could disable the target from the further away. And on the right side we'll have the Scent Tracker. So it's a passive ability at the start of the turns, so it's not at the start of your actions. That's kind of like different, or like at the start of the round. So at the start of your turn, if there are like enemies within with the fragrance within 4 tiles of the characters, the characters will gain the critical chance increased by 30%, and also increases the maximum range by 1 tile and allow moving 2 tiles after landing a critical hit. So the movement to here, it's only applied if you dealt a critical damage or like a critical hit on your enemy units. So make sure if you want to use this passive to the highest efficiency, you might want to build her as a critical hit build. But rather than that, what I want to highlight is it's also the increased maximum range by 1 tile. So as I said before, Hasna is a really great single target attacker, so pretty much all her skill is single target, so you want to use this or utilize this passive as much as possible. So if you're wondering if it stacks with the passive from the focus one, I would say yes. So as I said before, if you're using Hypnosis, which is going to have like maximum range of 3, with this passive you could extend 1 more range of the Hypnosis or the skills, and with focus 1, if Hasna is healthy, it will also increase another range of her attack. So that's why Scent Tracker is also a must passive skill that you want to have. If I should choose my priority between these two, I would probably just use the Scent Tracker over the Assault. And at rank 9, we will have a modifier basic attack of her. The first one is Hypnotic attack. Pretty much it's kind of simple. It will deal 80% magical damage and also grant a chance of 30% to inflict sleep on the target. So you you have a clear idea what Hasna function is. I think Hasna will be function whether to be like a full DPS kind of unit, or maybe a support to just like, you know, consistently decreasing enemies attack and also defense, while also giving her giving the enemies more vulnerability to critical attack. And also she could just like you know, just like disabling enemies with all the sleep that she has, because not only Hypnotic attack, she also has the Hypnosis. So it depends on what kind of build that you want to build her, but I think those 3 are the most available build that you can have on Hasna. So the first one is this Disabler, the second one is the Aura Mancy, like Aura Mancer kind of thing, and also the third one is like the pure critical hit build, which is gonna be like a pure DPS kind of unit. And also on the right side we have the modifier of the basic attack called Murderous Phantom. It's a basic attack, single target attack, and it has 10% extra magical damage on it. And if she's adjacent to the target with the fragrance, she will perform another additional attack and dealing 50% of her magic attack as a physical damage, which is going to guarantee to be a critical hit. So as I said before, it will like synergy better with this skill. If you want to make her as like Aura Mancer, just make her like, you know, a bit tanky and just keep spreading out all the fragrance across the enemies. So yeah, pretty much if I have to choose, I might choose the Murderous Phantom because I think it will open more possibility as an Auramancer or like critical hit build for DPS Hasna. And finally, at rank 11, Hasna will have access to her ultimate ability. It's called Penetrating on the left side. It will have 4 energy cost to use this ability. It's an offensive ability that will deal magical damage to the enemies or the target. It's also a single target attack. So Hasna will deal 140% damage, and the damage dealt will increase to 170% damage. So that's like in addition like 30% of increasement in damage. Again, against enemies with fragrance. And also before attacking, her critical and also critical damage are increased by an additional 15%. So this condition over here, it will stacks with the buff from here because it's not gonna be like overriding anything that she has on the buff. So that's why you will have like more critical hit chance and also more critical damage. That's why this skills over here, this ability, it's gonna be like her ultimate attack, and it also has a good animation kind of thing. Because I don't know, Hasna is just really cool assassin for me, using the aroma and also the string to kill her enemies. Yeah, pretty much penetrating. You could use penetrating in every turns if you hit the enemies with the fragrance every turns. So I will let you know the reason why. So if you use the Sententtress, because it's going to recover 2 energies every time you're attacking the enemies with fragrance, and after the end of the turns, all the units in SOC will regenerate 1 energy, right? So I don't know what happened with Hasna, but every time I try to use the penetrating, it costs 4, and then it will regenerate like 2 energies plus 1 energy at the end of the turns. But the strange thing is, I always have energy if I hit the enemies with fragrance. So I don't know the reason why, and I haven't have time to do some research on it. But pretty much if you use the penetrating and also hit the enemy with fragrance using this passive, you could have access to this skill in every turns, except like you have the enemies that can burn your energy. So pretty much the penetrating is a really good thing to go. And on the right side we have the Lifedeor. It costs 3 energy and has no cooldown, so pretty much you like 100% can use this skill every time after like you hitting the enemies with fragrance as well. And it has a good ability damage modifier, which is 150%, and after attacking it will have the life steals of 45%. Range wise, it's not too good because it's only maximum like 2 range. If you compare it with penetrating, it has like 1 extra range. But I think the good thing about Lifedeor is if you want to build Hasna as an Auramancer, so what I could think is to make Hasna sustains in a battle, you could just like put the Lifedeor combined with the Murderous Phantoms, and also you could give this Battle Fever and also Soft as Flower plus the Sententtress. So yeah, pretty much those all the skills that you want to have as Auramancer for her. And if you want to build her as the purely like critical damage build, I would suggest you to get the penetrating, the Murderous Phantom as a basic attack, Scent Tracker for the passive, and also another passive for the Sententtress. So pretty much those 3 skills is going to be very useful as a critical damage build. And if you want to build her as a disabler or like sleeper kind of thingy, you could choose like the Hypnotic attack on her basic attack, maybe put the assault on the other skill, and you could pretty much get the hypnosis. And one other passive is scent tracker for extra range, and also like movement. If you hit a if you land a critical hit on the enemies, you could just like, you know, go back and then just like try to survive a little bit, or get away from the enemies as far as possible after attacking. So yeah, that's pretty much all the skill explanation for her. I hope that's gonna be useful for you guys if you have Hasna on your account, and if you're still confused about like her function on your team. And now let's talk about Hasna equipment. So in my opinion, because of her kits, it's always equipped by single target attack. So I would prefer to have the focus one on her as her weapons. And for the engraving, I would say like maybe sword, because sword is pretty much flexible, because like focus one, you could pretty much equip it to the other magic attackers as well. So that's why I would suggest like focus one with the sword, because focus one could also increase the maximum range of all the single target skills by 1 tile, and also increase the aim attack by 3%. So because Hasna has another bonus aim attack from her passive or like traits, it just kind of makes sense for her to like deal a lot of damage if you put the focus one. If you don't have focus one, there's like an alternative. Just use the gazing orb. It's pretty easy to level up or like style level up, so you don't have to, you know, focus more on the focus one if you don't have one. But if you have focus one, I would prefer to equip focus one on Hasna. And the second option, I would say Starry Sky Heritage, because it's also give you HP. It also give you another aim attack bonus equal to 6% of the HP, and it's also going to make your Hasna a bit tankier, especially if you want to build her as the Auramancer. So another option that I could think of is uh probably nothing. So these two wands, like these two staff around here, it's the best weapon that you could put on Hasna. But if you have any suggestion, feel free to drop them down on the comment section below, and we could discuss about it. And for the trinket, I'm just gonna say the Flying Blade Arm Guard is really good, because it has the passive or like the gear skill. Sudden Strike will, it's an instant skill. It also can deal piercing damage equal to percentage of enemy's HP, and you could pretty much use it every turn if you have like 5 stars on this. The reason behind that is also because Flying Blade Arm Guard, the range of this Sudden Strike skill will be affected by Hasna passive, and also by Focus 1. So you could pretty much use this from far away. And not only that, that Flying Blade Arm Guard Sudden Strike will also apply the Sententtress, so it makes your enemies will be like vulnerable. So pretty much if you want to do the combo is use the Sudden Strike, just make sure that your Hasna equipped by the Sententtress. So just equip that, and after that you do the penetrating, because after you do the Sudden Strike, you will apply the fragrance to the enemies, and it will enable all the secret passive or like the bonuses that Hasna has, whether it's the critical hit chance up, and also critical damage up from penetrating, or even the trait, the lingering fragrance. So that's the best trinket that you could have. But if you don't have the Flying Blade Arm Guard, you could also put the Disaster Bottle, because this instant skill catastrophe in here is also gonna do the same thing with the Flying Blade Arm Guard, but it's just gonna give more debuff instead of damage. Also for the engraving, I would say to have the wands, because Hasna is pretty much going to be attacking the enemies to applies the fragrance. So I think like sword and wand is gonna be like a very good combination for the engraving for her. And also if you don't have these two items, if you have like roaring flint, it's also going to apply the Sententtress as well. So yeah, there's like so many options for Hasna. But I think the most useful trinket is gonna be like flying playtime card with the magic attack status on the engraving. And for the tarot card, I would say Verdict of Justice, it's like a no-brain because it's also increases critical hit and also the critical damage of Hasna. But if you want to build her as the as Auramancer, I would say just equip her with the Silence of the Hermit because of the increasement like in damage reduction, or you could pretty much equip her with the Course of Fortunes. It's because Course of Fortunes passive, if you have the buff that could explode the damage and give the damage to the enemy, it's also going to apply the fragrance from Hasna passive, the Sententtress. So yeah, pretty much this passive over here is going to make Hasna like very useful if you use her in your team. And another tarot card that I've been thinking of probably is Judgment, because it could dispel the debuff from the enemies, and also it will make your enemies more vulnerable to damage. Because of like the lingering fragrance, it's going to reduce the defense, and with the Judgment, it's going to add level 1 vulnerability that makes the enemies takes all like 10% more damage. So I think that way you want to utilize Hasna as a debuffer, or like just like giving some aura with the fragrance. And for the good synergy, I would say that Hasna is going to be really well synergized with Coco because of the Iron Pot still. So if you don't have Hasna using the instant skill or like any buff that can increase the critical hit and also critical damage, like Coco, it's gonna be like the best pair for Hasna, especially if you have the critical build Hasna, because this skill over here is going to enable Hasna to reach another level because of the critical chance and also the critical damage. And another one I would say is probably Miguel. Oh no, actually it will be Cole, but I don't have the units, so that's why I couldn't show you guys. But I pretty much know Cole has the Leader's Aura ability that can boost Hasna critical hit and also critical damage. That would help her to deal more damage. But if you don't have Cole, another option that is available, that would be Miguel. So Miguel has the passive over here, like a Leader Aura is going to give more attack and also more defense to any drifters allies in battle. For this Hasna review video, I hope that you still get all the points that I want to share in this video. And if you have any question or a statement that you wanna discuss with me, feel free to just drop your question and your statement on the comment section below. I will be very happy to answer all of your questions with my knowledge that I have, or if you want to opt for like discussion. And I'm really sorry that I couldn't make the guide as detailed as possible because of the time that I have right now. I'm really struggling to just manage my time because it takes like 2 hours or like even 3 hours every day to go back from my place to the city where I work. But still, I'm trying to make the best video that I could deliver to you guys. And I hope that you have a nice day. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you on my next video. Bye now.